First, take out of all items from the package. Package includes manual, monitor, bracket, camera, video cable, cigarette lighter adapter, power cord, USB power cable and T-tats. Loosen the nut of the bracket. Flexible angle adjustment of the bracket. Remove the protective film on the bottom and pull up the buckle. Press the bracket down and expel the air. Pull down the buckle to fix. Align the bracket with the holes on the back of the monitor and snap it into place. Tighten the nut. Place it on the dashboard or windshield and pull down the buckle. After adjusting the angle, tighten the nut. Remove the protective film from the camera before use. 6 LEDs and a sensor on the camera. Camera angle can be flexibly adjusted angle. Pick up the video cable. Connect the 4-pin connector end of the video cable with DC connector to the monitor. Connect the other 4-pin connector of the video cable to the camera. Connect the cigarette lighter adapter to the DC connector on the video cable. Plug the cigarette lighter adapter to the cigarette lighter outlet. Press the red button. The red button lights up. The monitor lights up and the image appears on the screen. Test complete. Now the cigarette lighter wiring. Connect one end of the USB power cable to the DC connector of the video cable. Connect the other end of the USB power cable to the USB socket in the vehicle. The monitor lights up and the image appears on the screen. Disconnect the wiring from the USB power cable and now demonstrate the third way. Connect one end of the power cable to the DC connector of the video cable. Red is positive, black is negative. Please test positive and negative in advance. The black wire is connected to the negative of the ground, reversing lights, tail lights or license plate lights. The red wire is connected to the positive of the reversing lights, tail lights or license plate lights. The monitor lights up and the image appears on the screen. Hold the sensor of the camera with your finger. You can see the LED lights up. If you think the LED light is too dazzling, you can cut the thin white wire on the extension cord of the camera. Touch the power key to turn off on the screen. Touch the flip key to select the flip screen mode. There are 4 flip modes: upright, mirror, vertical upright, vertical mirror. Touch the plus key to turn off on the guideline. When the guideline appear on the screen, touch the M key. The H appear on the screen. Touch the plus or minus key to adjust the height of the guidelines. Touch the M key. The V appear on the screen. Touch the plus or minus key to move the guideline left and right. Touch the M key. The W appear on the screen. Touch the plus or minus key to adjust the width of the guideline. Touch the M key to switch to the brightness. Touch plus or minus key to adjust brightness. Touch M key to switch to contrast color HUE in sequence. Touch the plus or minus key to adjust the corresponding parameters. Touch the M key to switch to the language. Touch plus or minus key to select the language you need. Touch the M key to switch to the rotate. Touch plus or minus key to upright, mirror, vertical upright, vertical mirror. Touch the M key to switch to the mirror. Touch plus or minus key to turn on off the mirror. Touch the M key to switch to the park. Touch plus or minus key to turn on off the guideline.
The process of connecting the camera to the lamp line. T-taps. T-taps has 2 holes and 1 hole is closed. The long line is the line of the lamp or the circuit line on the car. Thrust the car light line into the first hole. Camera power cord. Plug the power cord into the second hole. Iron sheets. Clamp the iron sheet to the tap's bottom.
The good thing about this particular model is that it lets you choose if you want to install it directly to your backup light, so every time you hit the reverse it turns on, or if you want to connect it directly to your cigarette lighter, meaning that it's going to have power all the time, but because it does come with a button, you can turn it on and off as you like. Meaning if you're parked and you want to turn on your camera to mount surveillance, you can without having to hit the reverse on. But on today's video, we're going to show you how to install it both ways. The first thing that you want to do is locate your car. Now that you confirm that this is your vehicle, we're ready to remove the screws that hold on to the plate. Always remembering the greatest rule of all time, lefty loosey, righty tighty. And depending on your screws, it could be a flathead screwdriver or a Phillips screwdriver that you need to remove it. Now you're ready to show the power in your fingers, how you can hold the license plate and the camera and use your other hand to screw the screws back in there. We stand in awe and marvel your dominance. You can pat yourself on the back now for becoming a spy agent. Depending on your vehicle is the installation that you want to choose. You might want to remove the clip that hold on to the cover to your car's housing. And this is something that you can do by using a flathead screwdriver or a needle nose plier to pop the head out and then pull out. And if you want to take time on anything on this video is removing these clips, because with time plastic gets brittle and then that leads to breaking. But knowing life, you're gonna place them down and when you go back you're missing a few. But you know, here at the StataBox team, we've liked to show worst case scenario. So let's say you can't find any free entry point to your vehicle, neither using your eyeballs, searching on Google, watching other YouTube videos, and you've given in to the temptation of lowering your car's value price, or you don't want to buy any adapters so you can use the same hole for the screw where your plate goes, or even better, you're not going to do any of these things, but you want to see us give this car a new piercing, don't worry, we've got you. So we're going to locate the best entry point on the vehicle, which one has the less chances of any water coming in or any other living thing. A pro tip, before you go ahead and install the whole system, verify that the system is working. Because the last thing you want is to install everything and then have a faulty system. Then second, we want to get a drill bit to the exact same size of the wire we want to pass through. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to make a bigger hole than necessary. And that's why we chose this location. Now that we put this car through paint, we're going to insert the cable coming from the camera. And just to make sure that no water comes in the vehicle or the trunk, we're going to use this heavy duty outdoors RVT silicone caulking. In this case, we're using clear, the color that you choose. Remember, you are the king, queen, both or none of your castle. And if you ever need to remove the camera, you can always patch it up because the hole is so small. So no matter what technique you chose to get your camera cable inside of your vehicle, now we're ready for the second step. And this is where you choose how you want to make your connection. A easier connection where power is drawn from the cigarette lighter, meaning that you have control using the button when to turn on and off the camera, meaning every time you want to use it, you have to remember to press the button, or how life is, find the button. But you also have the advantage that you could use the camera at any time, even when not in reverse. Or you have the other option of connecting the camera, drawing power from your reverse light, meaning that you're only going to be able to use the camera when on reverse. But the good part is that it's going to turn on automatically, so you don't have to remember to do so. And this is important because by the way that you choose to install is going to be how you would need to choose to install this cable that we're going to use next. You're going to notice that the wire at the end has two video connections on both ends of the cable, but you're going to notice that one of the side has a power input socket. And you notice the difference because the video connection has pins and the other one looks like a power supply connection. So if you're choosing to connect it to your backup light, then we will proceed to connect the video connector that has the two cables at the end, meaning the video cable and the power cable. We connect that to the camera. But if you're choosing to connect your backup camera using the cigarette lighter, then you want to connect the other side of the cable where it does not have two cables at the end. It would only have the video connection cable, and you would connect that to the camera cable. And because we're choosing to show both ways, we're going to connect the one for the backup light. So that means we're going to connect the one with the two wires coming out. So that means we're going to take the wire coming out the camera and connect it to the video wire. You're going to notice two arrows that point to each other. We want to align that and then insert. So now we're going to have this additional cable hanging from the video connection, and this is going to be the power source. So that means if you're going this route, you're going to use the additional cable that has the open ends. We go ahead and connect those together, and now depending on your particular vehicle, we need to find access to the backup light. In some, you just open the trunk and you can see them. In this one, we have to remove some clips and some covers. Once we have access to the body, we have two nuts that hold the set of light in place. We go ahead and remove that using the ancient technique of lefty loosey, righty tighty, and we do that by showing the world the powers in our hands, and we let the world know that the sculpture body that you see in front of you has been made of many, many years, or some can say centuries, of DIYing cold, liquid gold, bubbly bottles of water to your face. Now that we removed the nuts, we're able to remove the light set. And look what we found, those leaves we were hiding there in case of an emergency. So now that we have access to the lamp, we're going to locate which ones are the backup light. We notice that there are the ones at the bottom, the white ones, and follow that to the back of the lights to follow the wires. We're going to see a red and black wire. Now using the clamps or T-tap provided on the kit, we're able to do a clean connection without having to cut wires or tape them up. Because the last thing you want now on your Frankenstein hoopty is to lower more of the value. So basically the T-taps adapter work by inserting on the outer hole the backup light wire in that entry point. You might need to use your powerful fingers to open it up and insert the wire. In this case, we're starting with the red one. And then on the inner hole, we're going to insert the red wire coming out from our camera connection. And meanwhile, we secure both wires inside the hole using some pliers. We go ahead and clamp on the little metal bar that sticks out. Once we see it all the way in, we're ready to close the connection by closing the plastic clip. And now you become a wire tapper. So that means every time your car hits reverse and sends power to the backup light, it also sends power to your backup camera system. And now we're going to repeat the process for our black wire using the same technique. Now we're going to have to disconnect the power connection from the camera, and also, like we did with the camera, find the entry point to inside of your vehicle. And because we don't want to make any more holes on this area because of the leaves we found before, so that means stuff does find its way through here, we're going to do a little slit on the gasket where the cables go through and insert our wire that way. You can also place some silicone on this area as well. We go ahead and place our lamp back. And now comes the fun part. We start hiding all these dangling cables that we have. And the best way is just to follow how the original cables are organized in your vehicle. And for this, we use small zip ties. But if you like the dangling look, go ahead. That's why you are the master of your kingdom. Just don't let your spouse know, your friends, your family. Just like treasures that are kept secret, that's why they last forever. And that's how special you are. And when doing this, make sure that when you close your trunk, there's no chance of breaking the wires or cable. Because the last thing you want after all this work is to close your trunk and cut the cable. We're gonna hide all these cables behind the cover using zip ties and put all the clips back and make the trunk look nice again. Now that we have more wires in our car than before, adding a couple of extra grams to the vehicle's weight, slowing it down, your desire of racing on the racetrack are over. Now if you notice, the recurring theme of this video is finding entry point. Now we need to find one for the inner side of your vehicle. In some vehicles like pickup trucks or vans and many other types, once you go in through the trunk or through the back, you are already inside. But because this channel is of worst case scenarios, just like MacGyver, we find that the easiest point of entry is through the seat and just putting the cable all the way down, so when you open and close the seat, it won't cut the cable. You can also use your speaker's entry point as well. And this is another part of the video where you can pat yourself on the back for breaking an entry on your own vehicle. You've become master of masters in this technique. We can use the bottom side panels to cover the wires These are easy to remove. You can usually unclip them using your powerful, beautiful hands, or you can use a flathead screwdriver to help you out. And basically what we want to do is get this wire to the position where we want the final location for the monitor to be. And for ours, we went the shorter route under the driver's seat. If you want a cleaner look, you can go all the way to the front under the dash, all the way to the cigarette lighter. Now that we have multiple power sources, we can go ahead and install our power on and off controller, which is also going to provide power if we chose not to get power from our backup light. We go ahead and connect that. And if you chose to go this route, then we want to go ahead and connect the wire that we placed under the car seat all the way from the camera, which has two ends, one for the power source and the other one for video, and we want to connect the power. Now, no matter which installation method you chose to give power to your device, now comes the part where we connect the video wire, remembering to align both arrows the same way. Now, if you connected everything correctly, if using the cigarette lighter method, you should be able to press the button on the on and off switch and it would turn on. If you chose the backup light method, just place your car in reverse and your camera should turn on.